Hey, what's up everybody? It's Brian Dean from QuickSprout, and in this video I'm going to show you how to optimize your robots.txt file for SEO. So first of all, what is a robots.txt file? Well, it's basically the opposite of your sitemap. So a sitemap exists to tell search engines what pages you want them to index, and a robots file is the opposite. It tells them what pages you don't want to index, and you're actually looking at a robots.txt file right now. I'm going to walk you through what each part of the robots file means and how you can modify it for your site. But the first thing you want to do is check to see if you have one, and if you do, look at what settings are already there. And to do that, head to your favorite browser and type in your site name followed by robots.txt. And if you see something that looks like this, then you have a robots file. If not, then you don't. Okay, so if you want to modify this file, you'll need to install a plugin in WordPress. So head over to WordPress, hover over plugins and click on add new, and then under the search field put in robots and click on search plugins, and you want to install this one, WP Robots.txt. Now I've already installed it, so you just install and activate it, and once that's done, hover over settings and click on reading and scroll down, and now you have this new section to the reading area called robots.txt content, and this is where you can actually modify your robots file. Now I do just want to give a warning that you usually don't want to mess around with this too much. The only reason you would want to change your robots.txt content is if there are pages on your site that you don't want Google to crawl and index, or if there are duplicate content issues on your site and you want certain pages to be blocked. So if you have two identical pages, you would choose one and add it here to the robots.txt file, so then search engines wouldn't crawl it. Okay, but later on I'm going to talk about another step you can take to make sure that those pages don't get indexed. So let me walk you through the language of the robots.txt file. User agent represents the bot that you're speaking to. So in this case, it has a little asterisk there, and that speaks to all bots. Okay, so this is Googlebot, Yahoo, Bing, every search engine. You're basically telling them under disallow, you don't want this page to be indexed and you don't want this page to be indexed. So disallow means that you don't want that page to be crawled by the spiders. Okay. Now user agent, you can change this, you can add specific ones, and I'm going to teach you later on in the video how to find the bots that are visiting your site and to see maybe which ones you might want to block. But in general, you want to keep this like it is. And if you want to add another user agent that you may want specific rules for, so say in general you don't want any spiders to index these two pages, you can add a new user agent like Googlebot, and then you can add a new disallow, and you can disallow them from accessing, let's say, like Google page. Now you don't want them for some reason to index this page. That's just Google. Bing is okay to index that page. So that would depend on how your site is set up. And you can also disallow certain file types. So you could say, star.jpg, and that would block Google from accessing any images on your site. Now, like I said, in general, you don't want to mess too much with this. You should probably keep it pretty much like it is. But if you want to add a user agent, you may want to look at what bots are accessing your site that maybe you don't want them to. So to do that, head over to your cPanel. So you have to log into your hosting plan cPanel, and almost every host has cPanel. Then scroll down to where it says logs and click on latest visitors. And then it'll have how many domains you have in your hosting plan. Pick the one that you want to check out and click on the magnifying glass button. And then under user agent, you want to sort this, okay? Because typically most users, obviously, to your site are just people. So these user agents will be browsers like Mozilla and Chrome. So you want to sort and see, in this case, is the Manta aggregator is a bot, okay? And maybe some other bots. So you'd want to take note of any that are visiting your site, especially keep an eye out for things like Ahrefs or Majestic SEO, Open Site Explorer. And if you don't want other people to reverse engineer your site, it can make it a little more difficult if you block these bots. So if you didn't want Samantha to be visiting your site, you could choose the Manta aggregator, go back to your robots.txt file, and then user agent, and you could disallow your entire site or certain sections of your site. And if you want to disallow the entire site, you do that. Okay, so that's a way to find specific user agents that you can block. Now I just want to say that, like I had said, some bots won't pay attention to your robots.txt file. They'll just ignore your instructions and crawl and index the pages anyway. But you also want to add another layer of security to your pages that you don't want indexed by making them no index and no follow. I'm going to show you why. So here is the robot.txt file from about.com, and as you can see, they disallow this library no search area of their site. But when you search for this in Google, there's over 4,900 results. Okay, so Google is still indexing the page, but they're not crawling it. Okay, so that's a distinction between a robots.txt file and a no index tag, which is a meta tag you can add to your pages. Because if there are links pointing to these pages, Google will index them, even if they're blocked by the robots.txt file, because the robot file just tells them not to crawl it. So they have this, this link in their index, but they've never crawled it, so they don't know what's on it. Okay, so they have no idea what content is on this page. Okay, so a more effective way to make sure these URLs don't even appear in the index at all is to also add the Nofollow tag. And to do that, head back to your WordPress dashboard, and you want to install a plugin. So click on Add New, called GDPress. So put in GDPress here, click on Search Plugins, and it's the first result. And once that's installed, any page that you edit in WordPress or post, so I'm just going to show you an example right now. Uncheck the Use Global Meta Tag settings, and then you can choose No Index Follow. So that'll make sure that search engines don't actually index your site, and the robots.txt file make sure they don't crawl it. Okay, so this is like 2 layers of security for pages that you really don't want to appear in search engines. Okay, now finally, you can actually edit your robots.txt file within Google Webmaster Tools, and you can check to see if you're setting it up right, and to see how search engines, or at least Google, is interpreting the information in your robots.txt file. So log into Google Webmaster Tools and click on your site, and then under Crawl, click on Blocked URLs. So as you can see, they've found the robots.txt file on my site, so you want to see that they've actually found it, which is typically found at robots.txt, like I had said. And then blocked URLs, there are 33 blocked URLs. Okay, and if you want to make changes, you can add the same information you did using the plugin. So you'd put, user agent Googlebot, disallow, whatever you wanted to change, and then you could test the changes, and it would tell you, how well it worked. Okay, so this is another way to make sure your robots.txt file is set up correctly, because it can result in actually your entire site not being crawled by Google. Okay, so this is obviously something that you want to get right, and that's why you want to make only the changes that are absolutely necessary to your robots.txt file. So that's all there is to optimizing your robots.txt file for SEO. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.